Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Game of Two Halves. I have my good buddy Valley here. Hi, Valley. How's it going with you?
It's going well.
I can see that you're already very excited. I know that the Champions League starts and we've already made a video of that. But today, on this video, we are going to talk about the Premier League table so far. We are 5 game weeks into the Premier League, and yes, I know I can understand your excitement. Arsenal still unbeaten. It's a very close top four. So let's dive right into it, buddy.
Yeah, it's a good time to be an Arsenal fan. I can't say the same for a Chelsea or a Manchester United fan, but definitely a good start, a positive start. I mean, if you see some of the Arsenal chats and banter and X, Twitter, Insta, whatever you watch, you'll see that most Arsenal fans aren't really very excited about the start we've had. I think within Arsenal communities, when we are talking, we are like disappointed in some ways, frustrated, angry, debating. Of course, when we banter with other clubs, we are very proud and happy about it. So yeah, I think in terms of what Arsenal have done in these first few games is good. 4 wins out of 5, not yet lost, so that's good. I think Arsenal as a team, we've always wanted to see the style of football. We wanted to see how we play football, how we get. I think that was missing from some of the first few games, and I think that would be the only disappointment that could be there with Arsenal fans. But yeah, I mean, nothing to complain. Sitting pretty much in the top, not just top, but the top half of the top half early on. So it's nice. It's a good confidence booster. But you tell me, how are you doing?
Yeah, I mean it's the same story another year, right? For Chelsea, I think.
Someone told me
Uh,
14 is your favorite number as well.
yeah, very close. Yeah, 12 actually.
It's okay, man. You have a full season to get the positions up.
But yeah, I mean, on a serious note, see, we didn't expect magic, right? When the season started, we didn't expect magic. But what we are seeing this season is that the team is fighting till the end. You can see that the energy is there, intensity is there. The players want to win matches. Yes, we haven't been clinical. We have created a lot of chances. We are still struggling with a lot of injuries. So, it's like me repeating myself from 1 year ago. Too many players, don't know the perfect combination. But I think we have a good coach. We have a good team. But what I'm seeing different this year is that, the energy is there, the intensity is there. The players are playing till the end. We're fighting till the end. We're creating a lot of chances. But then again, I just saw an injury list of the players. I think there are 12
There
players
we
that are
go.
injured
I was
now.
just waiting when this topic is going
No,
to
no,
come
no,
up.
no, no. It's
This
it's
is
not an excuse.
every Chelsea fan injury list.
I, I'm
So wait. That means you're.
wait. Valley. Tell me one thing.
Yeah,
When Saliba got injured last year, what
yeah.
happened to y'all?
What happened to us? One player got injured.
What happened? You lost the Premier League.
Okay.
You couldn't win the
First of all,
Premier League.
first of
Your
all,
one player got injured. Imagine having
First of all,
12
let's
players in
agree. Are we
first team.
discussing Chelsea right now? And let's get into it then. Are we discussing Chelsea right now?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you
Okay.
brought Chelsea up, right?
Tell me, in the last 12 months, how much have you spent on buying your team? Just answer these questions and then I'll come to my point. How much have you spent?
Everybody knows we spend a lot of
You're going to
money.
go into this net spend crap. How much have you spent to
No, no,
buy players?
I am not going in net spend crap. I know where you're getting to. I agree. We've spent close to a billion.
Okay, you
Or maybe
spent
more
close to
than
a
a billion.
billion. You
Yeah.
spent close to a billion.
I,
Are
yeah.
any of these people that you spent a billion on, leaving out Caicedo, Levia, and Enzo, are any of these established players?
No, they're not. No. So that's what.
Exactly.
So
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 if,
that's what.
if outside these three players, whoever is injured, how do you know they're going to have an impact onto your game? Because you've bought players
No, no,
for the future.
no, no. We have players like Reece James. We have players like
Come on, I
Nkunku,
think
the
now
proven
you have to go.
Nkunku,
But you have to
Nkunku,
wake up
proven
from this
player.
dream that Reece James, because Reece James has been injured for the last 3 seasons. He comes
Yeah,
from. He's
that
like
is a part of the.
He's like Batman in Justice League. He makes an appearance and he goes. You know, this is Reece James. Don't have this hope
I
on him anymore.
I just said in one of our groups, he's made of glass, dude. He's just commenting, and his leg is broken. Yeah, but no, see, it makes a difference, right? They are key players in key positions for us. Now, see, our midfield is sorted, right? We have Enzo and Caicedo.
Yeah.
Obviously, Caicedo didn't play the last game. Now we are still
I
struggling to
think he's
have that.
called Concedo of late.
No, no, he's not. Come on, man. He's a great player. But irrespective, the point I'm trying to make is that there are some players who are very critical in certain positions. And I was giving an example of Arsenal. I'm not comparing. I'm just saying that, those key players are so important in some positions. Now, you did not have Jesus for a couple of games, right? You struggled against Fulham, right? Why didn't you win the game against Fulham at home? Because you didn't have good players to finish, right?
Yeah,
So,
but that's my
and
point.
your party now, party is out. You haven't played the top teams till now. Who have you played? You have not played the Cities, you have not played the Tottenhams, you have not played the United, you have not played the
We
Chelsea,
played
you have not
United.
played the Liverpool.
We played Manchester
Ah,
United
sorry,
and
you
we
beat
smashed
United. I'm
them.
sorry. Yeah, you beat United, even Brighton smashed them at their home. So yeah, it was a good win. But what I'm saying again, that also you got two goals in the last after injury time in 90 plus minutes. Irrespective, you won the game, good game. But what I'm saying is you haven't played the good teams till now, right?
Yeah.
So and I think eventually we are going to get into that. The Northern Derby coming up, Tottenham are looking good and all of that. But it is those players missing in those key
Let's
positions that make a difference.
move forward from this conversation and say, what do you finally see Chelsea achieving this season? Given the injuries, given new players settling in, given new coach settling in, where do you see Chelsea, given now that we are game week 5 into this new season? What are your renewed expectations from Chelsea this season?
No, my expectations were clear from day one. I'm not taking anything less than top six. I mean, we are a winning club. We are a club with just 2 seasons back we won the Champions League. I know that 2 seasons back is a long time in football. Even 2 months back is a long time in football. But you can't. Yeah, but we are a winning club. We come with that winning mentality. We are a big club, right? One of the biggest club in the last 15-20 years in terms of winning the trophies and stuff. So the least that I expect is top six, man. I'll be really disappointed if we don't finish top six this season. Whatever happens, the coach has to figure his team out. We cannot keep blaming injuries all the time. I agree to that as well, but I'll be really disappointed if we don't finish in the top six.
Yeah,
Six also, I think I'll
for,
take
for
it.
me, this injury thing, I don't, I understand it because, like you said, you were right. With Saliba, we literally lost the league because of Saliba and Partey because Partey fell out of form last season and was out. Zinchenko was also injured a few times. Saliba had a huge impact. Gabriel Jesus again was injured. So yes, injury does impact your performances and takes you out. But for me, Chelsea spent so much money that they should be able to have a good quality of backup for your main players. Like, for example, what Arsenal have done this year is they know that Partey is injury prone and they've got Declan Rice in there. They've got Jorginho who came in there. So you got almost three people and got Mohamed El Neni down there. So you got four people for that one position. You look at Odegaard's position, we've got Kai Havertz, we've got Vieira, we've got Emil Smith Rowe. So we've got even Reece Nelson can maybe play that role at times if needed, and we've got these multiple options for each and every position. And yes, there is a drop off, in the quality. But for me, what baffles me with Chelsea is that you spent so much money, which everyone makes fun of, but everyone is spending. We've spent. Everyone's spending. And by the way, Chelsea is not the only club that has spent a billion. It's just that they've spent it in a very short period of time. Manchester City have been doing this ever since Ferguson has left, but. But that's my thing. Is like, is it down to the recruitment then? Then is Chelsea making a mistake in who they're bringing in? Is it smart? I do understand this future planning of, next 4 years, 5 years down the line. Maybe some of these players may shine. We don't know yet. But this is a league where, and especially with Chelsea fans, you're used to, ever since Abramovich time, you're used to instant results. Do Chelsea have that patience?
Yeah, I mean, we have no option now, right? We have to have patience. We have to give our manager time. Now, the last thing now we want is another change in management.
Yeah.
Like
You see,
we don't want
at the time
Poch
of
going
recording
in
this,
three
by the
months.
way, it's been, just to remind everyone, at the time of recording this, it's been exactly 1 year and 4 days since Thomas Tuchel was fired. And in this last 1 year, you've had four managers already. So definitely, I agree that this is the last thing that you need to
Yeah.
to change another manager. And I think for me, I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but firing Tuchel was probably the biggest error in your club.
It was, but then Valley, it was a different ownership back then, right? He had a different set of players, and a new coach comes in, and Potter was not the right decision. We knew it from first day, because he comes with like no experience in Europe, and he managed Brighton, who were like doing okay under him, but now with Dezembre coming in, like they have just taken off. So I mean, considering all that, and you have Pochettino, you have a new ownership, so it takes time. So what I'm saying is all we need to do now is focus on football. I know the last 2 3 months, the transfer window, spending money, okay, Caicedo, Lavia going back and forth, and then we made some good sales, obviously, but we just need to now settle down. Poch just needs to focus on football. We don't have any other competition. We just have Premier League and the FA Cup, just the domestic competition. Just focus on football, get his starting 11 right, keep playing players regularly. Mudrik is definitely going to be an upcoming player. I mean, he has glimpses of Eden Hazard, but he needs time. He's very young. He played really well against England also in that Ukraine game. I don't know if you watched it. It was a 1-1 draw, Ukraine versus England. So
Where
really, really,
Zinchenko scored
where Zinchenko scored, yes,
from
Zinchenko scored, yeah.
midfield.
No, yeah, great goal, man. He's a top player. So that's the thing. We just need to focus on football now, get our injured players back. Try and just win games. One good thing is we are not losing as many games. So that is a good thing. Yes, we've lost. We got butchered by West Ham, and we lost with Nottingham Forest at home. It's still fine. I see a team that is now fighting till the end. We are not clinical. Jackson is still getting a hang of Nunes, right? He came in last year. How many goals did he score? He wasted so many chances, but everybody knew that this guy will do something next season. And this season he looks so sharp. Darwin Nunes. If you see him, the preseason yeah, in the Premier League, that win against Newcastle. I don't know if you watched that game. The last 2 goals he scored. So he's just settling into the Premier League now. So it just shows that it's not an easy thing to do, and that's why we have so much respect for these guys like Drogba's and your Diego Costas and all, because they came in and they just took off, right? So all we need to do now is focus on football, play some football, and just not get distracted by any of the other things. The transfer window also is closed. That saga is over. So just get back to playing football. I feel that's what we need to do as a club.
And for Chelsea, you're never too far away from a transfer window, right? It's just around the corner.
You're forgetting that we had a ban of 1.5 year when Frank Lampard was our coach, and he got us into the Champions League. And
I
the
think
next season,
that
Tuchel, the
statement
next
itself
season, Tuchel.
that statement itself summarizes the state of your club. You had a ban when Frank Lampard was your coach. I don't think so. We need to discuss more than that statement.
Yeah. But let's come back to the top four. So there are only four teams now that haven't won so haven't lost any games till now, right? So that's your City, Tottenham, Liverpool, and Arsenal.
Yeah.
So how has Arsenal's run been, according to you, Ali, so far? What do you
Yeah,
rate it
for,
at?
for me, I think where we ended last year was obviously disappointing. We've spoken about this many times. It was important to see how we started this year because that would show us whether it was a one-off wonder, whether it was just that one season. But in terms of results, we are sort of continuing from last year's journey. Yes, we've also had injury with Timber. Partey now out, so Jesus was out also for a long period of time. So we've managed, despite all of those injuries. Zinchenko was out as well. Despite all of those injuries, we've managed and we are moving ahead. We are active in all competitions. So that's Premier League, Champions League coming up, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. So we already won the Community Shield match with Man City. So we've started off for me on the right foot in terms of results and outcome and where we want to be. We have converted one of the most toughest matches that has just concluded with Everton. Now, someone may laugh. Everton's on their way to being relegated almost every season, and then why would I say this? Arsenal have not won a game there since Arsene Wenger was the manager of the club. So that shows
Yeah,
you how long since we won. We've not 5 games prior to this. That means 5 years we haven't won a game there. The closest we have come is to a draw in 2000, I think in 18 or 19. I can't remember. So it's been a tough ground. And these, if everyone remembers, last year, this was the match we lost and
yeah,
turned around
yeah.
our season. Sean Dyche had just come into the club, and Everton killed us. And from there on, our season crumbled for the next few matches. We had Manchester City after that. We lost both of those matches, quick succession. So for me, that was a positive note with Arsenal. We started off with this formation of Partey playing at right back to invert into midfield because
Mm.
Zinchenko and Timber were no longer there and they were injured. That didn't go well down for me because it didn't look like the free flowing. Now with Partey out because he's injured, Zinchenko in, we've got the backline, which is the best backline for me with Ben White, Gabriel Saliba, and Zinchenko. Goalkeepers, we've got two, so we can choose anyone. You can close your eyes and choose and put anyone in goal, it doesn't matter. And then we got Rice, who's really proving to be one of the best signings of this season for any club, the way he's been performing right from day one. So for me, I think we are heading in the right direction. For me, if you ask me now, my expectations from Arsenal, definitely challenge for the Premier League, go a long way in the Champions League, and have to win between FA and Carabao something.
Yeah, I think that Everton challenge was was important, and I was just going to remind you about that also, that
Yeah,
that's where your season started,
yeah, it
falling
did.
off last year. So, and it was a good win. Yeah, it was a tough win. Everton tried to defend well, and then I think it was a nice finish by Trossard. Yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit of luck, but good,
And that's what you
good
need,
game.
right? You need to like keep trying,
Yeah,
like especially with these teams which have a low block, where if you look at that goal itself, that sums up the game. Look at the number of players behind. I know it's a corner, but look at the number of players behind the ball. The Arsenal players have to be so meticulously quick and accurate in their passing for them to create that goal. And if they miss it by a fraction, there's an Everton player on them physically.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good game to win. I think disappointing that we didn't get all the wins. I think we definitely had a chance to go 5-on-5. I'll be disappointed of that, but I can't really complain.
Yeah, and what I wanted to ask you was also, now with you guys being in the Champions League, we just made another video of this some time back. So how is Arsenal ready, or prepared to deal with these matches coming, thick and fast, and also, when you're playing a lot of matches, you have more chance of players getting injured and, the squad rotation and all of that. So, what do you think is Arsenal's preparedness in terms of this? So, that is one thing. And the other thing I want to ask you is now, considering you're in the Champions League, do you still prioritize the Premier League, or you mentioned about winning at least the Carabao or the FA, or do you aim for the Champions League? So what do you think should be Arsenal's goal this season?
I think Arsenal's goal, for me, in my opinion, 100% should be to win the Premier League this season. The reason I say that is because we fought. If you look at Arteta's journey, he came half year through that season, eighth place. Next season, full season, eighth place. Then, but between those two eighth places, there was progression. Because if you look at what on the other end of the table was happening with Manchester City and Liverpool, they were taking it to a 90 points, 100 points. So these were
Yeah,
tough seasons, and falling eighth in that wasn't good, but these were tough seasons to win because these two were dominating at the topmost level. The next season he goes and misses out to Tottenham on the fifth place. But what has happened in this is that he's able to get rid of a lot of the old guard, the old players, the old system, bring in new players, put in a style of play, and he's progressing that. From fifth, we went to second place. For me, this year, that progression needs to continue, and it has to continue with definitely challenging for the title, if not winning the title. For me, that will be the main objective. Champions League, we are just back in it. As long as we can play back into the Champions League, I'm fine how far we go because that will really give us the confidence. I don't think so. Any true, real Arsenal fan is sitting here saying we have to win the Champions League the year that we are back in it after a break of 7 years. So for me, Champions League is secondary, Premier League is the primary one, and then between Carabao and FA, I would still prefer the FA Cup because it's a little more prestigious than Carabao, but that would be my sort of preference. And then coming to the game management piece of it, I think like we just covered a bit earlier is that squad management has got better from Arsenal. We do have, I feel, quite a lot of depth in multiple positions. But definitely, injury is something that you really cannot manage. Urian Timber joined new into Arsenal, played preseason, played a few matches, looked amazing. The crowd, the supporters immediately loved him, and he's gone. He's out of the whole season. He's not going to play another match in this season at all. So we don't know what can happen. But if they manage the team well with a few injuries that may come in and out, I think we can do well. Look at the goalkeeper position. We got two. So we are
yeah,
strong there already. You look at right back, we've got Ben White who can play there, and Tomiyasu who is originally bought in for that right back position. We've got
yeah,
Saliba and Kivior, in the centre back. Ben White can also play there. With Gabriel Magalas, again Kivior and Magalas, either one can play. With Zinchenko there on the corner, Tomiyasu is playing over there. So we've got people who can rotate, and this is his system, right? He wants people to play multiple positions. Partey, Jorginho, Rice, there, Odegaard, Vieira, Emil Smith Rowe,
Havertz.
and Kai Havertz there in the top. Then we've got Trossard and Martinelli. You can switch and it'll never drop off. You've got Saka and Reece Nelson. You've got Jesus and Nketiah. So I feel in a long time Arsenal have a sufficiently good team. I don't. Besides maybe Saka, who you can say is world class, and Odegaard, who's there in that, and Rice getting there to there. These are, I would say, world class players for me who are really proving it in and out. I wouldn't say the rest of this team is world class, but they're good players who you can bank on to get the results. And like I said, they've now matured because they've been in this system. They've been in
Yeah,
difficult moments. So, yeah, I think it is going to be a tough, but that's what top football is all about. You guys have done it, right? Manchester City won three last year. They had to play more games than any other team in the Premier League.
yeah.
So yeah, if you want to win, you want to be the best, you got to manage all of these things.
Yeah, and I think that can I mean, you can just right away get into Man City. You spoke about Man City. They look like nothing can stop them right now. 5-on-5, and they haven't just been straight wins except for the I think Newcastle one. I think they won 1-0 at home. But other than that, I think they have just
Yeah,
smashed all teams. So what how does Arsenal and I know that you play them before I think the last game before the next international break
yeah.
is Arsenal versus City. So what do you think? What do you think? Are you guys ready? Do you think you are now ready to take on the City team?
I think Manchester City could be the first team to win four in a row. They could do the
You
four.
know, sorry to just interrupt you, but I am thinking that they might go for the Invincibles this year, man. They can do that,
They
right?
could. If you see the season where Liverpool lost out to Manchester City, they could have been invincible and
Yeah,
won the Premier League. So
yeah.
this is always a fear of every Arsenal player, definitely. But I think as the season goes longer, I think Chelsea will, not sorry, Manchester City will
City.
slip up one game or two. What I would say where Arsenal have finally seen a sliver of hope is the Community Shield match, because this was the first time in a long time we were able to defeat Manchester City, and that gives a boost to the team. We've not done it at the Etihad, we've not done
Hmm.
it in the Premier League for a while, but Tottenham have done it. Liverpool have done it. So Manchester United did it, I think, sometime a while ago. So it's not that it's impossible. We can do it, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, and that machine, man, already 7 goals in the Premier League. Already 5 games, 7 goals. Already the top scorer. So
Already one hat trick.
yeah, so it's going to be difficult. To
Mm.
be honest, I don't see too many teams being able to challenge them. But this year, leave Arsenal out of the equation. Liverpool, Tottenham are also looking quite dangerous and quite up for it this season. So for me, I
Yeah.
do feel Manchester City have the strongest chance of all, but it's going to be a different season, especially with Tottenham doing well, with Liverpool doing well. So it could be a four-way or a three-way battle to the top for me this year.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. It's gonna be tough. And I think Tottenham and Liverpool are also right there in the mix, right? Because Ange football, as they call it, is looking really good. And their win against Sheffield United, 2 goals in the last 3 or 4 minutes. And Richarlison coming back after
Yeah,
all that he's gone through and the statement he made about going to the psychologist. And
yeah,
I mean, it's so good to see him. He was in tears. Son was pushing him to the crowd. I don't know if you saw those clips toward after the game, like, the whole team is pushing him forward, like on the pitch to just clap for the crowd. And, it was so good to see. So very happy for him. But I think, yeah, even Tottenham, they don't have any European commitments. Liverpool are in the Europa, not something that they did. They'd be very happy playing, but that's something they can win for sure. So, yeah, I think those teams are still there in the mix. They've all started well. So these are the four teams that haven't lost a game so far. Yeah, and I think the next uh the next big test for Arsenal is the North London derby, right?
yeah. It's going to be a tough. It's going to be a tough match for sure, and we'll definitely be covering that in our next video where we are doing
Yeah.
the predictions for the next game week. But yeah, just touching up on Liverpool and Tottenham. I think Liverpool have gone really under the radar, where people are not really talking about what they've been
Hmm.
doing. They've done well. They started the season as strong as last year. I think they've gone. I think I read this somewhere. They've gone what 16 games on the bounce without a loss or something like that, combined from last season. So they are really in form as a team. So I would definitely watch out for what they've got in store. And Tottenham are looking finally like a top big club the way they're playing football with Ange Ball, as you said. Yeah, I'll be
Doesn't
interested.
look like they're missing Kane, right?
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah, not at all. And that's good for them, you know. But yeah, we'll be looking forward to smashing them up next week when they come.
All right, more on that in our next video, guys. So that was on take on the top four right now, and then the match is still game week 5.
Yeah.
Please let us know in comments what do you think, and who do you think will probably go on and win the the Premier League.
Yeah.
All right.
We've not covered one one big talking point in this episode, and I think probably we'll need an entire video to cover this. But the joke,
Maybe we don't.
the joke that keeps happening,
Yeah.
Manchester United. I mean,
Oh God.
just a final thought on it before we end the episode. I really don't know what's happening there. I mean, there's too many things to talk about, but just if I focus on football and leave the other things off pitch to the off pitch, there's no identity. If you remove the brand Manchester United from it, like you remove the jersey, the logo, the stadium, and you put those people on any neutral pitch, they look like a bottom league team at the moment. The way they play, there's no identity to that club, and for me, that's the worst thing that can happen to a club like Manchester United. I can understand Chelsea because Chelsea have gone through owner transformation, they've gone through manager transformation, they've gone to team transformation where probably there's one or two players from your original team that still exists. Manchester United have gone through these waves of managers and waves of new players, but predominantly it's not changed a lot, right? They have the same owners, they have predominantly the same players. Martial's been here, I don't know, since 1947 or something. You know? So, for me, I don't know where they're going. And as long as Manchester United is in the mud, I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, same here, man. I'm enjoying their downfall. Yeah. And I really don't have much to add to that. I think it's just a lot of stuff going on off the field which is impacting them on the field, I feel. It feels or it looks to us that it does not, but it does, right? I mean, it's in the news, right? The whole world is watching, and with the Anthony allegation and Sancho fallout and the players getting injured
I
and the
mean, you
manager
look at
not knowing.
Maguire's story, every
Maguire, yeah.
break it keeps resurrecting. Sancho's story, yeah, Anthony's story. Before that, it was Pogba. Before that, it was
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo. They always seem to be having some. It feels like I'm watching WWE. It's like the storylines they build, the bloodline versus some faction. I don't know. Maybe that's what they're going for. Maybe they just want to be like these social media clubs now. You don't know. Maybe every week we get a new
Yeah.
episode of it. Something else happens.
Yeah, well, here's wishing them good luck in their
I'm not.
whatever. May we keep hearing more. May you keep losing more matches. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think that should do it, right, Valley? What do you think? That should do it for this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've already experienced some exciting football in the first five games. Excited for the next five to see where we stand, and I think every group of five games that we cross, this table will keep moving up and down, and teams will keep shifting. So it's interesting to watch out what happens. And it's interesting to hear the people who watch this podcast to know what are your reactions to the games.
Yeah, absolutely. So let us know, guys. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you, Valley. I'll see you very soon.
See you. Bye.
What? 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 What?